All right, you guys. Hi. We're welcoming Pamela. Make sure it's public and not going to my friends. But I wanted to say good evening, everyone. We are here with Pamela from Chico, California. So give her a big hello. We work with people all over the country in CMW. And Pamela is actually my third client from Chico, California. And I actually had reached out to a couple of them, Lisa and Michelle, that live in Chico as well. And I feel like I have to get out to Chico sometime because I feel like I hear so many great things about it. And I meet such amazing women from there who all have great success in CMW. And so Pamela, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story tonight. And I want everyone watching to give Pamela a big thank you. I know this is not easy coming on here and sharing your story. If you're watching us live, say, hey, Pamela. If you are watching the replay, give us a hashtag replay. I want to know who's joining us. And this is a really special moment. And I was just talking to Pamela before we signed on live, and I was sharing like how this is just like a more momentum for her journey, and just like not just celebrating, you know, where she is now, but like who she's continuing to become. Right. This is just it's a never-ending journey. And Pamela, I know you're so happy with where you are. And one thing I'm so grateful with you is like you shared a lot of how you felt, which I was very, very grateful for. And, you know, tonight we're going to learn more about your journey, the good, you know, the ups, the downs. I feel like it's important to be transparent. And so she's here to share that. So Pamela, thank you so much. And just a bit about Pamela. She is the mother to a beautiful, how old's your daughter again? 2?
She's 3.5.
3.5, that's right, okay. And yeah, and I remember like, you know, you were talking about like being like a mom and really just trying to make time for yourself. And that was important for you. So comment below, guys, if you're also a mom and maybe you struggle with making time for yourself. And maybe that's something, you know, Pamela might bring knows, but what I want to start with is, Pamela, tell us a little bit about, you know, before CMW, like what had you tried in the past with your weight loss journey? And why do you think it wasn't successful for you?
So before CMW, I tried Weight Watchers was probably the most recent thing. I did it with my husband, and it was nice to have him do it with me. But it seemed really unfair. He had all these points, and we went out to Mexican food. He got this huge burrito, and I had like a mini taco, and I'm just like glaring at him like this just doesn't work for me. I always felt hungry, like and like they want you to eat fake food. So that and I gained weight, so I was like, I'm done. That didn't work for me. I tried the Atkins shakes. I tried Slim Fast, keto. I did for a few weeks, and that did work for me with lowering the sugar. But then when life hit me a few weeks after, like it just went down the drain. It wasn't sustainable. So yeah, just none of it worked, to be honest.
Yeah. And then so like what made you reach out to CMW and make us, you know, and what made you feel like we were a good fit for you? Because you just found us like online. You did just like a Google search, like you didn't know anyone who ever did CMW before, like it's your first time meeting me. Like, what made you think we were the right fit for you?
So what happened where I finally had it, I was trying to potty train my daughter and it went nowhere. And I gained 7 pounds in a week. And I'm like, I can't do this. I literally can't do this anymore. And my husband was like, babe, find what you need online. Like, we'll make it work. Just look. And so as I was searching, you know, they all seemed kind of the same. CMW really stood out to me because you talked about emotional eating. And I thought, I know I struggle with that. I don't know much about it, but I know that's something that I do. So that, and the fact that you're like, you don't have to give up your favorite foods, you know, we'll make it, you know, customize it for you. I felt like you weren't just going to hand me a paper like, here, eat this, you know, do that, but you really were going to work with me. So I was intrigued by that. And then speaking with you and hearing that we had some similarities and you were so relatable, and that you had hope in me, like you didn't even know me. And I saw it in your eyes that you truly believed I could do this. And so that's what made you completely different.
And you did it, you know, and I also I want to give a big shout out here to Kisa. You know, she's part of the CMW team. I know you guys spoke a lot during the journey. I know she was a big, you know, super helpful with you and helping you with the emotional eating. You know, I know she's super proud of you too, and she's going to be watching. And Abby's here actually joining us. She's saying, "Congrats, Pamela! You look amazing. I'm happy for you." Yeah. So, you know, we do have support, and so yeah, no, I know that was a big part of, you know, the program. What were some of your other favorite parts of CMW?
I loved how much you guys worked with me. I felt like you were there however much or how little I needed you. I am pretty self-sufficient with not needing accountability and whatnot. But there were times I needed to vent. I needed ideas. I needed like, here's my mess, help me figure it out type of things, which was so helpful. And never feeling judged. That was huge. Like I was so hard on myself to begin with. You guys were never hard on me. You never made me feel guilty, or ashamed or like anything. And it just was so helpful to have you guys all the time. And even to like, for example, like my soda habit, which was really, really bad. And you guys didn't tell me, oh no, don't drink soda, it's bad. You're like, okay, instead of having like 6 to 8, why don't you try having like 5 or 6, and I'm like, okay. And you helped me break it down as opposed to just, no, you shouldn't drink soda, so it just, I loved how much you customize it for me. And even Keith was like, who said you can't have soda? And I thought, that's true. It might not work for everybody, but for me, that works. And so that was a huge tool in feeling supported and not judged.
I think that's super important, guys, because like, I think you made a really good point. Like we are so hard on ourselves. So to have that right accountability and that support, you want to feel like you're not judged, like we're not the food police, like we're just really trying to, help you, do less, and yeah, like drinking less soda is definitely a healthier option. And you cut your soda back significantly. I remember you telling me about your journey, your trip to Disney and how you like really didn't even drink it there,
And one, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Again, it's like those small goals will lead to big results. And you definitely saw that. So I'm glad that you like the support. And even though like you are someone that like, you did your weekly assignment, like you were so on top of everything, but like, you also needed the one-on-one support's also really great. And I always noticed, Pamela, you always like watch our little like videos, like our Mindset Monday, and like you were always like in there. And I love that. I felt like you really, utilized the community. So again, like I think that's what made you super successful. In terms of, but here's something too, like I always tell people, in terms of like, Pamela worked with us for 16 weeks. And I always say there's no such thing as like a perfect 16 weeks. There's always some things that we struggle with. So what came up for you that maybe wasn't so great during those 16 weeks?
A lot. Just being honest, the hardest part for me was putting myself first, especially being a mom and being a wife. I've always just put other people first. So it was really hard to know that putting myself first and becoming a better version of me was actually beneficial to other people. So I really learned how to balance that, where it's not like with the all or nothing mindset. It was like, well, is it me or is it them? And really trying to find like, how do I give everybody, what everybody needs. So that was a big struggle. Also my all or nothing mindset. Actually on day 2 of the program, I go out to eat for lunch every day, and I went out to eat and I customized my order, and I remember they did it wrong and they put things on it that I didn't want. And I'm like, well, oh my goodness, I blew it. Now I'm going to have this and I'm done. I wasted my time and money. Like it was just crazy how much I just had a meltdown. But since then I've had my order messed up and I send it back and get it the way that I wanted it. Not a big deal, or I'm like, what, I'm just going to enjoy it today. And it's okay. Like no judgment even on myself. So that's been struggles. And the holidays, I'm glad I did this during the holidays because I needed you guys like bad. And it was just hard because you're around friends and family and it all revolves around food, at least in my family, my circle. So trying to find ways, to navigate around that where I still feel included, but also remembering to take care of myself. And I remember telling you, like, I tried to change my mindset, like, you know what, I'm not missing out on the food. They're missing out on not feeling good, after they're eating. And that was such a shift for me where I stopped feeling like this, oh, I'm left out, I can't enjoy this, just it's been so beneficial. The mind work it's just phenomenal what you guys do. I could not have done this without you.
Yeah, it's so funny. When you just started talking about like your panic on day 2, I remember getting an email from you, like a long email. Oh my God, I already messed up. And I remember seeing these like paragraphs now. And I'm like, and I said, like, just don't worry about it. Like, it's just every day is day 1. right? Tomorrow's a new day. Like, and it's just one meal, like let's move forward. And now look at you, 30 pounds down, 9 inches, I think I counted. Like, I mean, again, like you have just really blossomed, and I'm so happy that you're happy. And again, like, I love that you were saying that making time for yourself was difficult. Comment below, guys, if you're watching this and you feel like making time for you is challenging and you maybe have guilt around it or some kind of negative emotions that kind of prevent you from being happy. And then you also talked about that all or nothing mindset. Comment below, that's something you struggle with. If we're like a perfectionist, let's say we have one bad day and then it leads to multiple bad days and we're like, well, screw it, let me just mess them all up and I'll start next week. I hear this all the time. And we, in CMW, we really help people to work on breaking free of that. And to be honest, you guys, like there's pros and cons to the all or nothing mindset, and we don't necessarily have to get rid of it 100%. There are parts of our life where it can be beneficial, but when it comes to the weight loss journey and we do want to minimize it because we always just take all these steps backward, but we really should just keep going forward. And so that's our main initiative for helping you kind of get over that mentality and supporting you when you think the world's over and you messed up so badly, there's no turning back. You can always go forward, never backward. So I love that. And Pamela, I mean, you were obviously super successful. 30 pounds down, changing your mindset, like really having this healthy lifestyle. How confident do you feel in your ability to maintain these results for life?
Oh, 1,000%. Like that's where part of my all or nothing mindset comes into play, and it's good because I'm like, I'm not going back. There's no going back. I've gotten rid of clothes. Like I'm absolutely done. And the fact that I still have all the tools from you guys, like I have, the online community that I can still reach out to. I have you guys I can still reach out to. Like there's the only way I would fail, it would be on me. And that's not going to happen because I've come too far. Like, and I don't know, I don't just see the result. I feel the result. Like I feel alive. I feel I can keep up with my daughter. I feel attractive to my husband. Like I just have all these feelings that I probably honestly haven't really truly felt before. There's just no going back. You guys really set this up for success and not failure. And kudos to you guys.
Yeah, well, no, kudos to you because again, it's 10% us and 90% you, like you put in the work, like you made the time for yourself, you set your intentions, you came in this like ready to rock, like you are not messing around. You're like, if I'm going to invest in myself, I'm going to do this, like I'm all in. And you did it, and you're exactly who we're looking for in CMW, someone who is all in. This is so important to them. Failure is not an option, like this is work. And we're here for you, no matter what shows up for you, and I love that. I've come too far. Abby just said, I love that. I've come too far. There's no looking back. Cindy's here. Actually, she says, congrats, Pamela. Another person crazy enough to start this during a holiday.
Love it.
Yeah, I always tell people, like when people do reach out to us during the holidays and they're like, oh, maybe I should wait. I'm like, actually, no, this is really good timing during the holidays. And you literally started in September. Do you remember? And you hit every major holiday, and you at the Halloween. I remember how nervous you were about Halloween candy, and you still 30 pounds down. I mean, your birthday, Thanksgiving, Christmas. I mean, all these things came up for you. And you were successful. So one last question for you. Let's say there's someone watching this who is contemplating the weight loss journey, or maybe they have very little, belief in themselves. They've done everything, nothing's worked. They have so much going on in their life. And they just don't know what to do at this point. They're looking for motivation, or just looking maybe for a shift. They're like, I need to do something, but I don't know what. What's your piece of advice for them?
Do it. Like, I know it's so simple. Do it. Like, I have been wanting to lose this weight for over 12 years. I could have started 12 years ago. The time passed and I was still in the same predicament that I was. And then it kept getting worse and worse. Why keep putting it off? Why keep waiting when you can start and you can find time? It might feel difficult. You are so worth it. I didn't think I was worth it. I didn't think I was worth spending the money. I don't invest in myself ever. And I did. And it was worth it. It was worth it to me. It was worth it to my daughter, to my husband. Like, family, everybody. Like I said, I feel alive. I have my life back. And you just you can't wait. Please. Like if I can do it, and I had zero like self-confidence, zero like hope in myself. This was my Hail Mary pass, to be completely honest. If this didn't work, I would have been done. Like I'm just not meant to lose weight. Doctors tell me I couldn't lose the weight. Doctors tell me because of the condition, I can't lose weight even if I just ate lettuce all day. Screw them. Like you can do it. Like they will make it work for you. And if I can, you can. Like just saying, I know you don't know me, but please trust you can. You can do it. And it's life-changing.
I love that. I love that. If I can do it, you can. And I love that you were saying like how like, I remember you saying on our first call, like I've been told I can't lose weight, like, all these things. And that must make you feel like it makes your confidence even lower, right? Like, and I've heard this before too, people saying, yeah, like I was told I would never be successful. I have all these conditions and they're fine, so I'm happy that you found that. And actually Cindy said, Pamela is unstoppable.
Yes.
Yes, that exactly. I think that's actually, that's Cindy's word for 2023. What's your word for 2023?
Celebratory.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. And Pamela, can you tell us why you picked that word real quickly? Because this is a good story. Sorry.
I'm glad. I picked celebratory because I was not good at celebrating even the small things, like barely even the big things. So with my journey, I would make little changes here and there. And honestly, I'd say, what's the point? This is stupid. Like this isn't going to make any difference. And I kept celebrating. I kept, writing that as my win, no matter how small it was, even if it was getting an In-N-Out burger and I half the bun and no cheese. Like, okay, what's that going to do? That's what led to my success. All those tiny things. And so I really want to learn and continue to celebrate all those little things, because that's what adds up. I didn't do an overhaul of my life. Like I said, I eat out lunch every single day. I have soda every day. And I just turned 40. So don't say that getting older, right, means that you can't like live your best life. I'm starting my best life at 40. Like who else can do that? Anybody. So
oh my gosh. I'm actually really happy Abby's watching this live, because that's exactly how Abby was. Abby came to CMW and she was getting ready for her 40th birthday. Abby, right? And yeah, she has had a great 40th birthday. And now she's kept her weight off, years later. And, I know you'll do the same thing. Like you said, there's 1,000% chance that you'll be successful on your own. And, we're always here to support you. Like you have the resources. We're always here. Me, Danielle, Kisa, Pip, Abby in the community as well. We got Jen. Jen was a client of ours. Jen has an amazing interview too. And she says, love that word, Pam. So again, like choosing the word that makes you feel good, that you really, that embraces who you are as a person. I love that word for you. And that's something we talked about in CMW, is like choosing that right word. It means everything. And I mean, just now you see Pamela's personality, like makes complete sense, so I know I love your energy. And I told you this last week, like your energy is completely different than when I met you 17 weeks ago, 18 weeks ago, whatever. And I love seeing where you are. And that's why I was so thankful that you were willing to share your success story with us here live, because again, like, anyone watching, like you said before, anyone can do this. Yeah. Anyone can create their success story, even if you don't think you're going to be successful. Jen watching this, I remember Jen like had very little confidence in herself, and she went on to lose over 20 pounds, and she was great. Woo! I mean, really doable. Yes. Yeah, sure. So I want to, celebrate everyone watching, because number one, just like watching this and just even thinking about change, because change is scary. And oftentimes when we think about change and transformation, the first thing we think about is all the things we have to do to change. We think about all the microcosms, right? Oh, well, now I got to eat better. I got to exercise. I got to sleep. I got to cook. I got to blah, blah, blah. But we don't think about how we're going to feel in the end, right? Like this energy that Pamela has. We don't think about the value in living that life. And we don't think about, well, how can I change the way I think about these things, the way I look at food, the way I look at fitness, the way I look at myself? How can I do that so I'm excited to reach these goals and not dreading the journey? Right. So that's why in CMW, we always say, ditch the diet, enjoy the journey. And Pamela, I really do think you enjoyed this journey. I saw you every week, like sharing all these wins and being your celebratory self. So guys, if you're watching this and you're ready to create your success story, as Pamela said, if she can do it, anyone can do it. Okay. So if you are ready for that, you can schedule a call with us, just like Pamela did. I'll drop my link below, createmyweight.com/apply, and just schedule a call with us. And again, like, we'll talk to you. We really do want to know, like, where you've been, where you are now, and where you want to be, and we'll give you that confidence that you're looking for. We'll tell you, yeah, we think you'd be successful. Here's what we'll do. If we don't think it's a good fit, we'll be honest with you, because we really do want people who are going to commit. We want people who are coachable. And because those are the people that are successful. So all these interviews you've seen, that's their personality trait, right? Abby says, I see joy. I see your joy that you, and Pamela, yes, you had lots of numerical wins, but you had so many more non-scale victories. 100%. And aren't those more exciting? Oh my God.
Super exciting. And I just really want people, don't focus on when you're going to make a change of what you're going to lose, focus on what you're going to gain. Like, you have so much more to gain than what you're going to lose. You won't even look back. Just forward. Yeah.
I think that's a really good point, actually, because, we as humans, we have what we call the automatic negative thought, the ANT, and we automatically think of what we're losing. Well, I'm going to have less time. I'm going to have less money. I'm going to have less choice. But it's like, actually, maybe not, number one. And number two, like, what are you going to gain? As Pamela just said.
I have more energy, which then leads to me having more time because I'm not so tired all the time. Yeah. So I gained time. Like, come on, do it.
Yeah. Cindy said, thanks for the energy to keep going.
Oh, keep it up. You got this.
Yeah, Cindy. Cindy actually just joined our program after the winter challenge. Cindy, I saw you in those workouts, girl. I saw you got your weights and you're doing great. You are on the road to success. Honestly, like, this is a journey. And again, we are going to have all kinds of moments, but every moment is worth it because it will get you to where you want to be. Right. So again, Pamela, I'm so thankful for you. I'm so thankful that you trusted us. And, you took like you said, it was a Hail Mary for you, you're like, you're like, there was something different. I knew it was going to help. And look at you now. So thank you so much for sharing. And I just love your energy. And I always say energy is contagious. So you guys, like, another piece of advice I would give to you is try to, like, surround yourself with positive people, that are on this journey, that can support you. And Pamela was a great part of our community. And I'm so thankful for our CMW community. Cindy watching this now, Abby, Jen, they're all part of that community. And I'm just very grateful for what CMW has become. So if you'd like to consider joining, and if you want us to see if you're a good fit, you can schedule a call with us, createmyweight.com/apply. But again, Pamela, thank you so much. I'm so thankful for you in your journey. And I want to keep hearing how you're doing. Like, please keep in touch with us. And I'm sure you will on behalf of the whole team. And again, thank you guys for watching. And I wish you guys an amazing night. And comment below if you're watching the replay, comment below with any questions you have or comments for Pamela so she can see them. And so I'm excited for you in your journey forward. All right, guys, have a good night. Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you. Bye.